Acharya ji.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Sadashiva Samarambham
Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Te Guru Parampara.
Om
Sahana Vavatu Sahano Sahaviryam Bharvavahai Tejasvinavaditamavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Acharya.
So, as we had discussed, we are going to start a new Upanishad called the Mandukya Upanishad. We have circulated the text of chapter 1. So, if you will open it out, we'll start with the Shantipata, which is one which you already seen before, but we'll chant it anyway. Om Bhadram Karnebhiः Shrunuyama Devaः.
Om Bhadram Karnebhiः Shrunuyama Devaः.
Bhadram Pashyema Akshabhiryajatraः.
Bhadram Pashyema Akshabhiryajatraः.
Sthirairangai Stuštuvagum Sastunubhiः.
Sthirairangai Stuštuvagum Sastanubhiः.
Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu.
Vashema Devahitam Yadayuhu.
Swastina Indro Vruddhashravah.
Swastina Indro Vruddhashravah.
Swastina Pusha Vishvavedah.
Swastina Pusha Vishvavedah.
Swastina Starakshyo Arishthanemihi.
Swastina Nastakshayo Arishtanemihi.
Swastina Brahaspatir Dadhatu.
Swastino Brahspatirdadatu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So, have we seen this Shanti Patha before?
Yes, Acharya.
Yes.
Where did we see?
Mundaka.
And therefore, we will not go into the meanings and all. Anybody who needs to do that, please go back to Mundaka notes. Okay. So, it's an Upanishad. And of course, we have said this several times, but no harm in repeating. Upanishad can be taken as Upa plus Ni plus Shad. So, Upa is coming near, and therefore this Upa means gathering the knowledge by coming near. So, Upa Ni Shad, that knowledge which is gathered by coming near a Guru, by approaching a Guru. So, Guru upasadena praptavya vidya. That knowledge which is got by Guru upasadenan, by coming near a Guru. Upasadanam. Upasadanam is coming near. So coming near a Guru, you get a particular knowledge. And therefore, the very word Upanishad itself indicates that this is a knowledge which has to be got from a Guru. It's a knowledge which cannot be got by self-study or by meditation, all these things. So, Upa indicates Guru Upasadanam. Upasadanam means coming near, coming close, approaching. And Ni, Upa Ni. Ni indicates Nishchaya Jnanam. Again, the expression Ni, meaning Nishchaya Jnanam, has to be understood as one has to continue to study from the teacher. One has to continue to be near the Guru, until the jnanam which the Guru gives you is nishchayam, dridam, until one has conviction about this knowledge. And therefore, this knowledge is free from doubts and errors. So, samshaya viparyaya rahitam jnanam iti nischaya jnanam. Jnanam which is free from samshaya, doubts, and jnanam which is free from viparyaya. What is viparyaya?
Errors, wrong understanding.
Errors, wrong understandings. And therefore, the doubt, the knowledge which you have should be clear from two angles. One is there should be no doubts about the knowledge at all. And one should be that the knowledge itself should be free from any errors. And the shad is taken as the destroyer, so destroyer of samsara. Therefore, that knowledge which is clearly gathered from a guru, which is the destroyer of samsara, that is Upanishad. Okay. Shankaracharya gives another meaning. He says, sadhyati gamayati prapyati iti sad. That knowledge which carries the Shishya to Brahman. That is to say, helps the Jivatma merge into the Paramatma. That is the meaning that Shankaracharya gives to the word. In short, the word Upanishad represents that knowledge gained from the Guru, which enables the merger of the Jivatma with the Paramatma. And the merger is not a physical merger. It is only dropping the notion that I am the Jivatma. It is only dropping the notion that I am not the Paramatma. We saw earlier that the Upanishads were found mostly in the latter portion, in the concluding portion of each Veda, and that is why Upanishad has loosely been called Veda Antaha. Veda Antaha literally meaning that which is found in the Ant of the Veda, at the closing portions of the Veda. And traditionally, it has been said that there were more than, or there were 1180 Upanishads. This is one number which I have heard. Of course, most of them are lost. And while 200 are still known, approximately 200, 108 are popular. They are available easily and they are popular. And out of these 108, there are 10 which are called the major Upanishads because Shankaracharya has commented upon them. These are called Dasha Upanishads. That's major Upanishads because they have all got Shankara Bhashyam on this. And among these Dasha Upanishads, among these 10 Upanishads, we find this Mandukya Upanishad also there. Mandukya, remember, is the smallest of the 10 major Upanishads. The Mandukya Upanishad itself has got only 12 mantras. Now you saw that the Shanti Patha of Mandukya was the same Shanti Patha as Mundaka. So in that case, this Mandukya Upanishad belongs to which Veda?
Krishna.
Atharvana Veda.
Atharvana.
That is because Mundaka also belongs to Atharvana Veda. And one of the features of the Veda is that all the Upanishads belonging to a particular Veda have the same Shanti Mantra. So if you know the Shanti Mantra of say Mundaka and you find that Shanti Mantra in another Upanishad, you can close your eyes and say, this Upanishad belongs to the same Veda where Mundaka belonged. Okay. Now, the name Mandukya is because the knowledge in this Upanishad, or rather the Upanishad itself, the 12 mantras were revealed by a rishi called Manduka Rishi. Okay, the word Manduka is derived from a root mand. Mand means to rejoice, to revel. So Mandukaha is a person who is always happy. Now remember, there is another name, another meaning of the word Manduka. What is that?
Frog.
The frog. Okay. But there is no Rishi who is a frog over here. So we are not talking about the frog over here. We are talking about the root mandayati. And that Rishi who was always happy, called Mandukya Rishi, he is the one to whom this revelation of this Upanishad, we do not say he originated the Upanishad. Upanishad was never originated. It has come from the Lord himself. And therefore he revealed the mantras to us. And therefore it is called Mandukya Upanishad. It is a very small Upanishad, but it is a very, very comprehensive Upanishad. And therefore it is considered very, very important in the tradition. Now, as a side subject, there is an Upanishad called Mukti Upanishad, Mukti Ko Upanishad, and not very well known. But if you look at the various places where Upanishads are available, I'm sure you'll find a copy of it. Right? This Mukti Upanishad, Mukti Ko Upanishad, is supposed to be a dialogue between Lord Rama and Anjaneya, right? Hanuman. And in that Upanishad, the speciality of the Upanishad is you find a lot of information about other Upanishads. So you will find the number saying that 1,000 and odd Upanishads were originally there. And there they tell you out of these Upanishads, how many were Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda, all these numbers are there. And that Muktika Upanishad says that if you study only the one Upanishad, that is Mandukya Upanishad, comprehensively, that is sufficient for moksha. Okay, so that is one of the sayings, one of the revelations in that Upanishad, that it is sufficient to study Mandukya Upanishad. And if you have studied it sufficiently and comprehensively, then that is sufficient for moksha. Then it goes on to say, however, if you have not understood the Mandukya completely, what you should do? You should study the 10 Upanishads. And then supposing you studied the 10 Upanishads, which of course includes Mandukya, and then also you have not understood. What should you do? You should study 32 Upanishads. And if you still do not understand, then study 108 Upanishads. All advice given in Muktiko Upanishad. Okay. Luckily, I think all of us will not need to go beyond the 10 Upanishads. Hopefully. Now, coming back to Mandukya, I said the Upanishad is a very small one, right? It's got only 12 mantras. But generally, any study of this Mandukya Upanishad is studied with a commentary, with a bhashyam on these mantras. And that bhashyam is written in a verse form, in a metric form, by a great Acharya called Gaudapada. What is Gaudapada's connection with Shankaracharya? Anybody knows?
His guru.
No.
Guru's guru.
Guru's guru.
Who was Shankaracharya's guru?
Govind Padacharya.
Govinda
Ha,
Bhagavad Pada.
Govindapad.
Right. So Govinda Bhagavad Pada was Shankaracharya's guru. Govinda Bhagavad Pada's guru was Gaudapadacharya. And therefore, Gaudapadacharya occupies an extremely critical position, extremely important position in this Advaita Guru Parampara. And he has written a commentary in a metric form, in a verse form, right? Not W-O-R-S-E verse, okay? V-E-R-S-E verse, not the other kind of verse. Now this mantra, this commentary written in a metric form, remember it's a bhashyam, but bhashyam is written in a metric form. It has got a particular name. It's called a karika. So that's the karika is a bhashyam on a main text, but the bhashyam is written in a metric form. And therefore, we study the Mandukya Upanishad with something called the Mandukya Karikas. Author of Mandukya Karikas is Gaudapada Acharya. Right. Now, there is a popular Guru Parampara shloka, which we don't chant usually, but it is supposed to be chanted by every Vedic student. So, Om Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtam Shaktimcha Tatputra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukham Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindram Athasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharyam Athasya Padmapadam Chahastamalakam Chashishyam Tam Totakam Vartika Karamanyan Asmad Gurun Santatamanato Asmi. Have you heard of it? It is supposed to be chanted, right? And those who have done the TTC, you should definitely have heard of it because it is there in your manual. Just because we didn't chant it in the TTC doesn't mean it is not there. It is very much there in the manual. Okay. To put it in short, Sri Om Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtam. The entire Guru Parampara beginning with Narayana, with Vishnu, is laid out in the sloka. Therefore, the Adi Guru is Vishnu. Right? Now, in this sloka which we chant, Sadashiva Samarambham, who is the Adi Guru? It is Lord Shiva.
Shiva.
But,
Shiva.
Right? Here, this is the Guru Parampara beginning with Vishnuji. So, Om Narayanam Padmabhuvam, beginning with Sriman Narayana, and then Padmabhuvaha. Narayanam is Vishnu, Adi Guru. Padmabhuvaha means what? Born from the Padma. What is born from Padma? Or who is born from Padma?
Brahmaji.
Brahmaji. What is Padma? Padma is the lotus.
Lotus.
Right? So Padma Bhuvam means born from the lotus, which is Lord Brahmaji. Okay, so Om Narayanam Padma Bhuvam. Remember, this is a parampara. Right? First is Narayana, Easwara. Then is Padma Bhuvam, Hiranyagarbha, Lord Brahmaji. Right? They are not the same. One is the originator, one is part of the parampara. Then their other names are given. Vasishtam, then Shaktim, Parasharam, Vyasa, Shukha, Gaudapada, Govindapada, Shankaracharya. Right? And up to Asmad Guruhu, up to your own teacher, up to my own teacher. This is the parampara, which is given here in this particular shloka, which actually we are all supposed to chant. Now, one very interesting, if you study this particular shloka, Om Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtam, then Shaktim Cha Tatputra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukham. All these people, who are they? Narayana, Lord Brahmaji, Vasishtaha, Shakti, Parasharam, Vyasam, Shukham, Shukacharya. What are they? They are not, these are people who are named in the scriptures. So we can call them as Shastric personalities. And really speaking, they are not historical personalities because they don't appear in history anywhere. In fact, there is no history which says whether these people existed or not. So from Narayana onwards up to Shukacharya are the name of all Acharyas only. But they are known from the scriptures, from the Puranas. We don't have any historical details. And therefore, they are called Rishi Parampara. They are all Rishis. Narayana, of course, is excluded. They are all Rishis, right? Now, not only are they Rishis, each one of them was married. And therefore, they are Grahastha also, right? So, you have the first, apart from Narayana, all the names are of Rishis who are Grahasthas, who are householders. And each disciple happens to be the son of a guru. So, Vishnu's son, for example, who is Brahmaji. Brahmaji's son is Vashishta. His son is Shakti, and so on, right? Up to Shukacharya. Therefore, in Vishnu Sahasranama, if you know the verse, you have Vyasam, Vasishtanaptaram, Sakte, Pautaram, etc. Right? So all that is there. Thus, the whole series up to Shukacharya is not only Guru Shishya Parampara, but also Pitra Putra Parampara. They are in the name in the form of Grihasthas, father and son. After Shukacharya comes who? Gaudapada Acharya. So up to Shukacharya is a rishi, right? Gaudapada is a historical figure, is a manushya, is a human being. So we are distinguishing here between rishis because they are named in the scriptures as such. And here Gaudapada is human tradition, Manushya Parampara. Therefore, in this particular verse, you find Easwara in the beginning and as the originator of the tradition. And then there is a transfer from Easwara to Rishi Parampara. And now there is a transfer from Rishi Parampara to Manushya Parampara. So you can call the earlier ones as mythological, right? Because we don't know. They are available in mythology, they are available in the Puranas. But from Gaudapadacharya onwards, it's no longer mythological. It is historical nature. Also, there is one more important change. Up to Shukacharya is Grihasthas. But Gaudapada onwards is Sannyasi. And therefore, in this, not only is there a transference from Rishi Parampara to Manushya Parampara, but the transference also is from Grihastha Parampara to Sannyasi Parampara. Okay, am I making sense so far? Everybody's understanding?
Yes. Yes, Acharya.
This is not relevant to the Mandukya Upanishad, okay? It is just so that we know what we are doing.
Oh, Acharya.
The lineage.
Yes, John.
So I always thought that the rishis were humans, but they are not considered
This is our
Manushya.
exalted status. So when you study Brahma Sutras, you will find that there is a discussion on whether Devatas and Rishis have eligibility to acquire Jnanam. And Shankaracharya says, yes, there are three types of people, three types of entities, I won't say people, who can get Jnanam: Manushyas, Rishis, and Devatas. So they are clearly distinctive. And that is why you say Rishis heard in their meditation. You and I will not be able to hear the mantras in our meditation. Rishis are exalted beings because of superior punyam. Okay. Coming back to Gaudapada Acharya. Gaudapada is a very, very important Acharya. And normally whenever we are talking, discussing, we only go up to Shankaracharya, right? And Shankaracharya himself, 1200 years ago or so. And therefore, when we go to Gaudapada Acharya is Shankara's guru's guru. So we have to add another 100 years. So we are going back almost 1400 years, 300, 400 years. And this particular Karika is supposed to be a very, very important Vedantic work. Now, Gaudapada Acharya's real name nobody knows, right? He didn't think it necessary to give his name anywhere, and nobody knows the real name. But he is as you can see, Gaudapada Acharya. Okay, so there's a place in which is in today's Bengal, which is known as Gauda Desh. So Gaudapada Acharya belonged to Gauda Desh. And his original name is unknown, therefore he is called Gaudapada Acharya. The Pada literally means the feet, so it's used as a symbol of reverence. And therefore Gaudapada Acharya is Guru Pada Acharya, which means a revered, very much revered, very respected Guru. And therefore Gaudapadaha means the honorable Acharya who came from Gauda Desha. Okay, he has written some books on Vedanta, but the most important one which we are studying is Mandukya Karika. And Karika, as I said, means a commentary, a bhashyam in verse form. And there are there are exactly 215 karikas, right? Remember that there are only 12 mantras, but there are 215 karikas, 215 verses, which Acharya wrote for us to understand. And the 15 verses have been commented upon by Shankaracharya also. So you have the Mandukya Upanishad, you have the karikas, and you have the commentary on the karikas, the bhashyam on the karikas, which Shankaracharya written, right? So Shankara has written not only a bhashyam on the Mandukya Upanishad, he has also written a bhashyam on the karikas. He considered them so important, right? Okay, and to make it worse, there is an Acharya called Anandagiri, who is a disciple of Sri Shankaracharya. He has written a commentary on Shankara's commentary on Gaudapadacharya's commentary. So that is the text which we are going to study. You don't need to be frightened. I'm not going to pick out and tell you this is from there. Whatever we are talking is being extracted from these various commentaries. Okay. So in all that means there will be 215 karikas plus 12 mantras. So 227 verses are going to be studied. And though in the original, I don't know if the original was divided into 4 chapters, but for the convenience of the study, these 227 verses are divided into 4 chapters. Each chapter is known as a prakaranam. Okay. And the first one is called Agama Prakaranam. The first chapter is Agama Prakaranam. There are 4 chapters. The first one is Agama Prakaranam. The second one is Vaitatya Prakaranam. The third one is Advaita Prakaranam. The fourth one is Alata Shanti Prakaranam. Each Prakaranam means chapter here. And these 4 put together contain the mantras as well as the karikas. Of course, in the Agama Prakaranam, you will find all the 12 mantras plus some karikas. So the Upanishad itself finds itself only in the chapter 1, where all the 12 mantras are there, and there are a certain amount of karikas also. The other 3 chapters, they are only the karikas. Okay. Now, we'll come to the, I have actually, we have put in the group only chapter 1, right? We don't want to confuse you. Let us finish chapter 1, then we will put chapter 2. Okay. So this first Prakaranam, the Agama Prakaranam, it contains the entire 12 mantras, plus there are 29 karikas. 29 karikas are there. Hence, totally 41 verses are there in this chapter 1. The later 3 chapters contain only the karikas, as I said. There are no mantras. And therefore, the first chapter, it is a Upanishad Pradhana chapter, predominantly Upanishad, right? And the subsequent 3 chapters, the karikas, are a commentary on the whatever is explained in the first chapter. Why is it called Agama Prakaranam? Because in the Upanishads, another name for Upanishad is Agama. Sanskrit name Agama means Upanishads. In fact, the Agama itself means Veda, right? And in this context, because the Upanishad itself is contained fully in chapter 1, we have simply called it as Agama Prakaranam, the chapter containing the Upanishad. The Upanishad, as I said, belongs to Atharvana Veda. The Shanti Patha is the same, which we have already seen. Okay. Now, what is the content of the first chapter? Remember, the first chapter does not directly negate duality, does not directly negate Dvaitam. But the first chapter reveals non-duality, reveals Advaitam. So this is how the progression is going to be. The first chapter reveals Advaitam without directly negating Dvaitam. The second chapter establishes that the entire anatma is mithya using logic. The second chapter is yukti pramanam. Logical predominance is there in the second chapter to establish that anatma is mithya. The third chapter deals with possible objections to this theory. So the argument there is that if Dvaitam is mithya, then Advaitam is also mithya. And there, through a series of arguments, Gaudapadaji establishes that Advaitam is alone Satyam. And that whenever we talk about mithya, we should know that mithya cannot exist without the substratum, the adhishthanam called the Satyam. And this by now we are all familiar, that in mithya itself, the adhishthanam is all pervading. You don't have to look for adhishthanam anywhere else. You look for adhishthanam in the mithya itself. Like if you want to look for gold, you don't have to look elsewhere. The bangle itself, if you examine, you'll find the gold. And the third chapter then establishes Advaitam through logical arguments. What about the first chapter? The first chapter establishes Advaitam through Shruti Pramanam only. It is the third chapter which uses logic to establish Advaitam. And the fourth chapter is a chapter for Mananam. It takes up the views of Sankhya, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Bauddhika, Buddhism, and refutes all those views. Right? So the last chapter is one where you will get how other darshanas are not logical and why, what are the defects and where you can get rid of them. Therefore, the last chapter is Mananam. Okay, because it enables you to think about what you have studied and use those particular arguments to refute other darshanas. So this is the broad outline of the 4 chapters. Now, in the introduction to chapter 1, Shankara gives an introduction. So he says that if somebody asks how to use Omkara as a tool for understanding the Atma, he says, he quotes from Katha Upanishad, Om Ite Tata. That he says, Shruti itself says that you can use Om to inquire into Atma. And of course, there is another mantra, Etat Alambanam. Again, Katha Upanishad. He says you can use that also to inquire into Atma. He quotes from Prashna Upanishad. I am not quoting because we have not done. Right? He quotes from Narayana Upanishad. And that also I am not quoting because we have not studied. Then he quotes Om Iti Brahma. Where is that appear? Om itself is Brahman. Where did you read that?
Taittiriya.
Taittiriya Upanishad. Right? The first 1.8 or something. So Om Iti Brahma, Taittiriya Upanishad. So he's quoting. Shankaracharya is saying that this whole Upanishad will inquire using Om. And you should understand that other Upanishads automatically have said that Om can be used as a tool for inquiry into Brahman. And he quotes from Chandogya also, Omkaram evedam sarvam. Omkara alone is everything. Chandogya, which we will be doing sooner or later. So he says, there is no need to doubt that Omkara can be used as a tool for arriving at an inquiry into Atma Vidya or into Brahman. Then he says that, of course, now he is introducing the first mantra. He says that this universe, Jagat, which begins with what? God Brahmaji. So he says the Jagat, starting from Brahmaji and including every particular object in the universe, that universe is Mithya. So he has said that Brahmaji himself is mithya, like Rajju Sarpa. In that case, he asks, since the whole universe is mithya, which includes Brahmaji himself, why should Omkara be studied at all? So he says, Sarva api vak prapanchaha Omkara eva. Omkara alone is the substratum of the entire vak prapanchaha. Vak prapanchaha means the universe of words. Every word which is spoken by anyone in this universe, if you put them together, all of them, there is something called a vak prapanchaha, the universe of words. Okay, so Omkara, he says, is the very substratum, the adhishthanam of this entire universe of words. And what does any word reveal? You take any word. What does any word reveal?
Meaning?
Any object.
Sorry?
Any object? Does it indicate any
object? Right.
Yeah.
For example, there is a word called glass. That is Shabda. Right. What does it reveal? It reveals an object which you call a glass. So the word glass is pada. And the object which is revealed is the artha. So the padartha of the pada glass is the object which is glass. Okay. That's how this thing works. That any word ultimately reveals a particular object. And therefore, if you take the whole universe of words, vak prapanchaha, what will it reveal? It will reveal the whole universe of objects, artha prapanchaha. Clear? If every word reveals a particular object, then when you take the whole universe of words, those words reveal the universe of objects, which is the entire universe itself, right? And he says, when you take the word Omkara, you have to take Omkara as Chit and Atma as Sat. I'm not explaining all these words. You're all advanced students. So Omkara is to be taken as Chit, consciousness. Atma is to be taken as Sat, existence, because of the context of the words. Right? Consciousness is necessary to reveal existence. Therefore, Atma and Omkara are not separate, because just as the word glass is got the essential nature of what? Of the object glass. And therefore, the word Omkara has got the essential nature of Atma alone. Right? Now you can ask a question. The doubt should come here. Omkara is in the form of all the words. No problem. We can understand. How can you say Omkara alone is in the form of all the objects also? Because the mantra says Om Sarvam. Om it Sarvam. Which means that Omkara includes, Omkara meaning the world of words, the universe of words. It includes the universe of objects also. So Om is everything, not only the Shabda Prapancha, but also the Artha Prapancha. How can you say that? Shankaracharya quotes from Chandogya Upanishad, which we have not done, so I'll just quote for you. Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam. It's a very famous quote, 6th chapter. So he says vikaraha. Vikaraha is any object. Any object over here. Where does it have existence? Vacharambhanam. It begins on your tongue. And it has existence only as namadheyam, only as a name, only as a word. So he quotes. And therefore he says that the entire, when you say Om, you can, not only are you referring to the entire Shabda Prapancha, you are also referring to all the objects which are represented by the Shabda Prapancha. So every product, he is saying, really exists only as a name on your tongue. What really exists is not the product, not the karyam, but the karanam, the substratum, the existence. Therefore, Panchabhutani, when you say, they are only words. And the substratum of those words are nothing but Omkara. But you are saying the whole Jagat is Panchabhutani only. And those, therefore, the whole Jagat is nothing but words. And word itself is Omkara. And therefore, Jagat also can be said to be in the form of words only. Omkara also in the form of words only. And therefore, it is okay to say that Omkara is both Shabda Prapancha and Artha Prapancha. Am I making sense? Which is why we take Upanishad the last. It's a tough Upanishad to understand. There is a lot of concepts. So if you are not understanding, you have to ask. Otherwise, you'll find yourself deeper and deeper in the mud as we go.
Acharya,
Yeah.
I didn't understand well why the Omkara belongs to both worlds.
Because no object is different from the word. Right? What he is saying is that when you take the world, you are talking about 5 elements. What are 5 elements? 5 elements are only words. What is the substratum? To give an easier example, when you say bangle, bangle is only a word. What is substratum? Substratum is the gold, the adhisthana. Substance is the gold, right? Similarly, when you say world, the substance is only Brahman. Omkara represents Brahman, represents words, and therefore it is okay to say that Omkara represents both the universe of words and the objects represented by those words. Shankara himself gives an example. Okay, so he gives an example of, he takes the example of a farmer who is grazing his cattle, right? Now, when you see the traditional farmer grazing his cattle, you will find that there are 2 types of ropes. There is one rope, let us call it a specific rope, tied to the neck of each individual cow, right? So you have one rope, each cow has a rope tied to his neck, and you have a loop at the end of each rope, and you have another rope passing through all the loops. So there are individual ropes with loops which are on the necks of individual cows. But one common rope is there which is passing through all the individual loops. So all the cows are therefore managed with the help of these 2 ropes. So how is it that it is relevant here? When I am talking to you, right? What is the common rope? The common rope is the words that I'm using. And when I talk about specific subjects, then I use specific words. Therefore, the talk, the words, the general idea that I'm talking, the general words that I'm saying, that is the common rope. But within the common rope, you will find the specific word, the specific individual ropes, right? So he says the specific words, which for example are like the individual ropes restraining each cow, But remember that all the specific words, they are connected to the common rope. All the specific ropes around each cow is connected to the common rope also. The specific words that I am saying, they are all connected to what? To the general talk only. And this is what is the reason he says why the first mantra is entered into. So all this is so far been an introduction. He says this is the explanation of what is the need for the first mantra. I need you to ask me if anything is unclear. It may appear a bit obtuse right now, but as we go on, you'll find clarity. Okay. Right. So let us enter into the first mantra. Om ityetad aksharamidam sarvam.
Om ityedat aksharam idam
Sarvam.
sarvam
Tasyopya vyakhyanam.
तस्योपव्याख्यानं
jnanam
Bhutam bhavad bhavishyaditi.
भूतं
bhavat
भवत्
bhavat
भविष्यति
vishyaditi
Sarvam omkara eva.
sarva
सर्वमोङ्कार
omkara
एव
eva
Yachantrikalat kalatitam.
यच्छान्तिकालातीतं
trikalaतीtam
Tadapyomkara eva.
तदप्योङ्कार
omkara
एव
eva.
Okay. So to make it a bit more simpler, etat aksharam. Om iti etat aksharam idam. I'm taking that word. Etat aksharam om iti. Etat aksharam, this particular syllable, the word om iti, which is om, sarvam idam, is everything here. Okay, so that is the first statement made in the mantra. The syllable om, sarvam idam, is everything here. It means everything in this universe. Then, tasya upavyakhyanam. Upavyakhyanam is a explanation. Tasya, the explanation of that statement of that om is what? Sarvam iti, all this is what? Bhutam bhavat bhavishyataha. All this means all this which belongs to Bhutam, the past, Bhavat, the present, and Bhavishyat, the future. Everything is Omkara eva. Is nothing but Omkara only. That is one statement. The next statement is, you have to break that word carefully. Yat anyat. Yat tad anyat. Trikala atitam api Omkara eva. Therefore, tad anyat. And everything else, different from. Okay. So what has been said, everything here which is belonging to the past, the present, the future is Omkara. And tad anyat, if there is anything else different from past, present and future, how trikala atitam, which is beyond the three time frames, past, present, future, tadapi Omkara eva, that also is Omkara only. Okay. So past, present, future, we can understand, right? What is Trikala Atitam? Beyond the three time frames.
Tatvabodha Brahman or Sat.
Brahman. Brahman is beyond the three time. Remember, Maya is also beyond time frames. Okay.
Hmm.
Don't forget, whenever we say Trikala Atitam, it
Hmm.
doesn't mean only Brahman. Maya also. Why is Maya beyond time frames?
In the Avyakt state also it is.
Anadi.
Ah,
Anadi. Maya is
Anadi.
Anadi. Anadi,
Hmm.
Anantaha. Maya also cannot be destroyed. Matter can never be destroyed. Okay. So this Upanishad, as you can see, it's not in metric form. The mantras are not in metric form. It's not in verse form. It's in prose form. And therefore, you have to discover how to chant it. Right. The karikas, however, they are in verse form. Now, in this first chapter, you will find that there is a mixture of Upanishads and karikas. First, there are 6 mantras. Then they are followed by 9 karikas. Then the 7th mantra is there. That is followed by 9 karikas. Then 8, 9, 10, 11. 4 mantras are there. Followed by 5 karikas. Then the 12th and last mantra is there. Followed by 6 karikas. And what I was happy was that the text which we are giving you, that text contains the same order. So there's no need for some hashing over here, right? It contains the same order. It's a common order in most traditional texts. The first 2 mantras are basically mantras which are introductory in nature. And here the Upanishad introduces 2 types of inquiry, 2 types of analysis. And the first mantra we are seeing that talks about Omkara Vichara, because it talks about Omkara straight away. So it is the analysis of Om. So it is telling us that by way of analyzing Omkara, you can understand the reality about not only the universe, but about yourself. Then in the second mantra, the Upanishad talks about Atma Vichara, self-analysis. Right? Then come the detailed mantras, but then again, they are all in reverse order. From the 3rd to the 7th mantra is straight away coming from the 2nd mantra. So it's 3rd to 7th mantra is a discussion on Atma Vicharaha. And mantra 8 to 12 is a discussion on Omkara Vicharaha. So this point needs to be remembered. Mantra 1 is Omkara Vicharaha, but the expansion of mantra 1 is mantra 8 to 12. Mantra 2 is Atma Vicharaha, and the expansion of that is the 3rd mantra to the 7th mantra. Okay. So with this, I would like to close for the day, because what is left is not sufficient time to cover the rest of it. And therefore, in the next class, we'll start from mantra 1 only and carry on. Any questions?
Acharya, I
Yeah.
have that question about the rishis from Grihastha and later on from Gaudapada to Sannyasa.
Yeah.
I just wanted to understand, is there any significance
There is
of
no significance. That is the way the particular stuti is been completed. That's how it is. Which shows that basically the only thing you can draw from that is that both grahasthas and sannyasis both can be in the teaching parampara.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Acharya.
Om Acharya,
Yes, Joe.
could you please share this verse in the group later?
Which was?
The Parampara.
Yeah, I'll put that in. Sure.
And just to check if my understanding was correct about the why Omkara is the substratum of both the objects and the worlds. So we say that no object is different from the word that represent that object.
Yeah.
And for example, when we say bangle, the substratum of the bangle is the gold.
Yes.
So therefore, gold is not only the substratum of the object bangle, but also the substratum of the word bangle.
Or the word gold and the word bangle.
Okay. And in the same way, Omkara is the substratum for the words and both words
Because
and
Atma is referred to by both.
Mhm.
And since they have a common substratum, whether you call it the Prapancha, the universe, it is Mithya. Whether you call it Brahman, it is Satyam. But the substratum is the same, Brahman or Atma. Therefore, the words can be used to refer to both.
Okay.
So, Shankaracharya is giving a reason why Omkara can be used as to analyze the universe. Because Omkara is only a word. How is it that you are using a word to analyze the universe? That explanation is being given there by Shankaracharya.
Thank you.
Okay, so with this we'll stop.
Acharya,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. The verse which you said for those who have done the TTC, I mean, I haven't done it. So the initial verse, it's not there in the PDF. Is it something from the manual of the Ashram TTC?
It's not there? It must be definitely
The
there.
Narayana.
It should be there.
The one which is which is there, which you shared, the Mandukya, that is directly with the Bhadran Karne and followed by the
Bhadrakali is
mantras.
this Shanti Patha.
Correct. No, you explained some other verse. I
Yeah,
thought
that
I
also
didn't.
we normally chant. I explained that verse to show the parampara. But as June said, I can put it in the in the group.
Group. Oh, yes, please, Acharya. Yeah. Thank
Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat
पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य
पूर्णमुदच्यते
पूर्णमादाय
पूर्णस्य
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते
शान्ति 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 ॐ तत्सत् ॐ तत्सत्
Om
ॐ
Namah
नमः
Shivaya.
शिवाय
Thank you for your
you,
patience.
Acharya.
Om Om.
Thank you.
Acharya.
Thank you.